everyone, welcome back to Green Bay Classics YouTube. It's kind of a special day. The stallion of the stable is back home. I'll do a walk around here shortly, but it's a big day and I'm very happy to have my baby home. So thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it greatly. Remember to subscribe, like, share with all your friends. That bell notification lets you know when I post. Those of you that are new to the channel, this is the stallion of Green Bay Classics fleet. This is my 1981 Camaro, Chevrolet Camaro. When I first bought it, like 7 years ago, it had a clapped out 305. I then put a 355 small block in it, followed by a 383 stroker. And right now, it has a 460 Big Block, a 454 board 30 over, has an 800 double Holly double pumper, dual electric fans. It is backed by a turbo 350 transmission, and this is the diamond in the goat's ass. I don't have a ton of money in for any of my cars really, but this is one that I started from the ground up, and I'm extremely happy to have it where it is now. The only reason I'm not going to start it for you is I do have to throw on a new starter. I haven't even heard or saw this video run, or this engine run, since being rebuilt by Terry's Engine in Green Bay. So I'm extremely excited. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or the next day that I get that starter on, but you can guarantee that I'll have the camera running. She's really dirty right now. I went around and I sprayed it a little bit with just some car wash and spunky water, brilliant water. But even just that really made her turn around quite a bit. This is my baby. I'm really happy to have her back. Thank you, Larry, for dropping her off and all your work into this old girl. Appreciate it. So even if you didn't ask, I'm gonna tell you the story on why the Big Block was pulled out over this past winter and why it went back to Terry's to be rebuilt. It's kind of embarrassing on my part, but I don't hold anything back with you guys. I make mistakes, probably more mistakes than most. I mean, I grew up on a farm for a lot of my time, but I was not into it whatsoever. So aside from making my mini bike run or the four-wheeler start, my mechanical background is just, it wasn't there from an early age. I would have liked it to be, but I had no idea at the time that this would be my passion in life. So at the last season, before my car show, the Big Block in the Camaro at full throttle, full gas, the oil pressure would drop drastically. And it worried me a lot. I mean, I don't plan on racing the Camaro a lot, but I would like to know what it does on the track. So having that oil pressure drop scary at full throttle was a big concern of mine. So I ended up talking to Shane, who built the engine, and Larry, my go-to guy, and it sounded like it was probably either too much oil or a sloshing of oil. So I researched everything, and it looked like a new oil pan would be my savior, or the pickup was too close to the bottom of the pan. So I ordered a new pan, and when I first went under the car, I thought for sure that I would be able to get that pan out and install the new one. I had no idea how far past the bearings and rods came down, and I undid that original oil pan and couldn't get it off. So I was stuck. So it had an issue beforehand of dropping oil pressure, and I wanted to resolve that. So then I undid the oil pan and couldn't get it undone, couldn't get it out or put the new pan on. So I was kind of screwed. And I had my car show coming up and I had these other things. So I said, I need to at least be able to move it. So I RTV'd the pan back up, put it back up, and then just moved the car like in and out of the garage. Didn't really use it on any driving whatsoever. So later on, driving or just starting it, it started like showing signs that things weren't going good. And I knew that my RTV job to get that pan back up was not the right move. So right off the bat, I knew that, okay, before I grenade this engine, I contacted Larry, had him pick it back up in November of 21. I brought it back to Terry's. They looked at everything, diagnosed it. When the original oil pan came off, that's when we knew that, yeah, it was probably this hack job of an oil pan that gave it such a hard time. So this was the oil pan that was on the Big Block. You can see where this was hacked out. So it really had zero baffle whatsoever to stop oil slosh. So Terry's Engine in Green Bay redid everything, new bearings, just pretty much a fresh rebuilt engine. And that was a lot to do with me jacking with that oil pan to begin with. Granted, there was an issue beforehand that made me dick around with the oil pan. So that's where a lot of it came from. So when they did open it up, that oil pickup was just full of the RTV that was on prior to me taking it off from Terry's. So that got in the oil pan, clogged up that, and then probably just stopped all flow. The great thing for me anyway is that I didn't use the car aside from going out of the garage. So it didn't really damage anything. The bearings actually still looked really good, but they just didn't want to take any chances. So by me messing with that oil pan to try and fix one thing, ended up to me now being like $2,500 more deep into the engine. And I can't deny anything that I did. I mean, I'm the one that caused a lot of that. And I mean, I've learned many expensive errors. I mean, from learning experiences, from touching things that I probably shouldn't have touched. So the good part about having it rebuilt is I got the things that I wanted in it now. So we removed the gear drive. Now it has a double roller chain and the engine's painted black like I originally wanted. So it's closer to what I had originally planned. Even though I wish that I didn't take the gear drive off, at least it won't be quite as noisy as it was. Even though I like the noise, a lot of people didn't. So, you know, that's a 50-50. I don't really care, but I'm really happy that it's painted black instead of that orange. I did not like the orange. So that's the story of why it was gone and why it's back and why I'm so happy to have it back. So if you make a mistake out there, don't think that you're the only one. I mean, I've learned many lessons the hard way, and what can you do but live with it and move on? I appreciate you listening. Even if you didn't want to know the story, now you know it now. So when you see the car out at a car show or at WIR, stop in and talk to me. I always appreciate hearing from people. I might not look like the most approachable person, but I'll pretty much talk to anyone that talks to me. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a great day.